Greetings and welcome. This is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. I'm working here from Cairo to do a prognosis for the month of it would be December 2025. Okay. Okay. Firstly, there's a pathway of initiation this month that is very much taking the ability of the hands. Okay, and how these relate in a way to the programming that we have in terms of algorithms that we output through our brain chemistry. When this is done correctly, the activation of certain mudras this month could bring forward lessons. They can bring forward discipline, limitations. They can bring forward relationships, creativity. They can also bring forward a bit of like a lunation. It'll of course happen twice this month, and the activations open primarily. It would be a push towards realizations. Okay, so it's a learning modality that if you were to harness, okay, the power of certain planets that can be harnessed through the use of mudras or the use of your hands, it will open up a new chapter, and this allows you to physically travel, which allows for a distancing effect. The thing is that many of you are going to be trying to find out why this impetus of journeying or of pilgrimage is coming to mind. On the ascension motif, for many of you, there is this need to go ahead and to walk the path of the initiate, to go within through the depressive modes in order to find out where you truly belong. The thing is that when you do this alignment and you work with these planetary forces through mudras, which is like, Gyan Mudra, for example, Gyan, or the Lotus Mudra, for example, these will activate certain things that relate to the solar energy, okay, of Sagittarius and the movement from Scorpio to Sagittarius to Capricorn. There is a binding effect that comes through Mars, the plutonic energy of Scorpio death regeneration sequences. A birthing after that, the student or the disciple becomes furthered into their own explorations of the mind, of the spirit. And it would be wise to align with master energy or something within the celestial hierarchy, okay, to tap into the idea of intentionality, because with intention comes the purity of light. For example, the third house, it would rule through Gemini the capacity to produce certain results in terms of alchemical results, okay, when it comes to love. And the transmutation of emotional currents within your system, controlled through mudras or some sort of practice, creative practice, elucidating with one's hands, cooking food, attending to your daily rituals, aligning with the sunrise. These are all positive conditions that would stimulate not only your mind, but the relation of the mind to the Shushumna, which is basically the inner pillar of fire, basically the spinal cord and the etheric bodies, etheric wheels that exist in there, the chakra system. And the effect would affect others around you on your idea of initiation, of going to somewhere new, of traveling, of also exploring intellectual thought. The solar programming that comes through that, through the auspices of Sagittarius into Capricorn, produce a binding effect, okay? And the moon or the lunation will reveal this further. Astrologically, this allows for basically this idea of coming into being. The thing is that many of you, especially the ones who have been following me for some time, the twin sun in particular for some time, are at a point of ascension, and because of your improvement, okay, through the content of your own quality, of your own work, of your own exquisite presence, okay, the development of that inner light actually attracts darker lines, okay, because as on the spiritual path, as you rise energetically on light levels, anything that is in terms of the shadow that's still within you, that hasn't been integrated, you will attract these things. But also, there's a tendency this month for increase of evil eye type of energy. And the best way to deal with this is to align with the signs of the moon, which reflects solar energy in Sagittarius, which would then, it would cross over a pathway of the third house for you, any placement in Mercury or Gemini, okay? In the third house, or the third house energy would be activated accordingly. And this would produce certain effects. It would bring in potential partners for some, potential business dealings, and also dealing with the outer world, Venusian type relationships, wherein it would be there, the presence of like romantic narratives are there, or like creative narratives are there, working with other people are there, but your own self containment and the alignment of that, bringing that up, would actually produce, I would say, this attraction from the eyes that follow in tracer form, okay? And it's your job to be in a mode of research in which you are protected, okay, because of what you are researching, okay, and that allows for the totality of a loop to envelop you, and it would also on a more esoteric level, it would also allow you to be more singular and more exacting in the negotiation of different timelines that you may be traversing through or with or against. Okay, so you have total free will in this, and that's just a channeled message.
Greetings and welcome. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. I'm working through this platform, whatever it happens to be. And we will be doing a monthly reading for the month of December. There will be timestamps for each particular zodiac sign. I'll be doing the 12, as in the 12 tribes, the 12 apostles, along with Ophiuchus, of course. We'll pull a random card for them. Happy belated birthday to you Ophiuchoids that are out there. Yeah, so timestamps will be there. I'll go ahead and get started. 44 and 1. 4 and 1. So this is a month to potentially for all signs. For a general reading, basically. This is a month of purification. It has to do with aligning with the moon and then going to the Martian sun. When blue shifts to red, there is a chance for the violet or purple, the purple flame they call it, purple frequency spectra. Okay, and purple is a very high vibration, along with the line of Saint Germain and the Archangel Zadkiel. There is a great potency in actually uniting, okay, the energies of Saturn, the moon, Mars, and the sun. And this is a very potent way to allow for protection this month in particular, okay. There also is something about a moon that leads to a new start. Obviously, it would be a new moon, a new start. Pay attention to that moon. It's a time for purgation. It's a time for creation. There are timelines also of the flame energy emerging. This is the photonic red, which is basically it's red and gold, an orange color. These are frequency spectra that can help you to begin new chapters. This has to do with the spark of creation, the crown of creation, okay, and truth coming through and shining through Michael. These are some of the things that emerge. I'll go ahead and start shuffling. These cards in particular, these are the Grand Alieta School deck. It's an 1890 deck, very old. We'll be using this, and once again, there's going to be one card that's opiocoid, and then the opiocoid card will basically dictate, according to the deep part of the occult, okay, and through serpentine energy that allows for healing and transformation to occur. But it's all going to be done in the context, okay, of a second house shift that relates to realities emerging from the gateway of Ophiuchus. So it's a 12 card spread. Timestamps will be available. Just go to the one that resonates with you in terms of a zodiac placement. Okay, this can be read from any planetary placements, but most of you will likely come for Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Okay, or one cut. Okay, this deck is ready. So we have the first card here is La Prudence, which is the Hanged Man. In this particular deck, it's a hanged woman. She's not hanging, but she has a snake at her foot. This is this is a Sophia style character. Sophia is basically sophistry and the evolution of her lunation, and then also her enlightenment brings an understanding of the mystery of I would call it working with deeper codes, deeper algorithms. She's one of the first when it comes to visionaries. So this hangman this month, I told you, is about basically coming to a place of purgation, meaning that you will be able to essentially find out what is most triggering you by the actions, motivations of people, and then accordingly working through that. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and spin it a little bit. La Prudence is here, and then we have let's see. I like to start with the Aquarian, so we'll start with the 11th house. Okay, when it comes to 11th house energy this month, Aquarius, this is for you. Aquarius 505. We have the card of Disunion, which is basically it's like decoding this particular card. The 2 and the 4 show up, creates the 6. There's a Mercury activation through Venus and the Moon for you guys, and it allows you to let loose, to not pretend. This is like a time to step away from that which is not resonant for you. Okay, this is of course the traditional Aquarius way of doing things, and in context of this is a double accentuation of like, it's like do not pretend. The way shapeshifters would behave, do not follow their ways. The way those who would harvest, okay, pretension, harvest pretension, and the mania that ensues there, do not follow that line. This is the ability, for example, the Quixotic, which is it's Don Quixote. We have the man of La Mancha here, Don Quixote, but then he's flipped upside down. Therefore, he is off his horse, he becomes grounded. And of course, Pancho is able to help him with that. So there's this like Panchito type of energy this month that allows for, well, being grounded for one thing. And it also, once again, it loses pretenses. There's a need to focus in on the grounding of the present moment, okay? And then on top of it, this would be the sun, and then the opposite form, which the yod would it would be the sun, which is 5th house, opposite form, Aquarius, and then the one who falls off the horse. Okay, this could be you, this could be somebody else, anyone who's falling off the horse. Okay, it slows down the chariot's energy. Okay, as you get into situations, the chariot it becomes in reverse, and essentially there's this like there's this Saturnian energy that helps So Saturn is going to be a major proponent for you to get through this particular time period. And it allows primarily for a shift when it comes to the odd formation. So the thing is that it's kind of like a law of averages this month. It's like your past self that is full of pretension will meet your future self, and then you get to this zeroing energy through Saturn. And then there is a chance for a type of crystallization to the element of air, okay? And it elevates you. It brings you clarity. It brings you precision of mind. It's a time to slow down and also to be a little bit more logical, not try to fall through loopholes that would feel like it's your heart, but it's just your ego. The ego goes through a sort of like ego death. You could be dealing with people that go through ego deaths, or like your presence triggers that, and then it goes to the moon, and then the moon will be your medicine for this month. So basically, it's like this union. There's like a disengagement with anything that feels artificial, okay? So like artificial cleansing from artificial energy or artificial intelligences would be the key for this month. So if you need to do anything, it would be focusing on the path of the hermit, going within, and then looking throughout for the divine feminine through the Isis mysteries, the Marian line. These are all like natural remedies for Aquarians, okay? All right, I'm going to shift over. We're going to the coming. 11, 12 would be Pisces. Pisces would be here. And we have here the card of protection in the context of Ophiuchus, which is a powerful card indeed. So Pisces, welcome. We have here the card of protection, which is Empress in reverse. Okay, so when a snake like this is here, then there's something toxic that is very much oppressive. It's clouding your mind, and it's clouding your grace. This has to do with a relationship, and then it becomes imbalanced. So the idea is to go through the inner child and let it understand through some sort of dark night, or the shaking of the inner of the inner, okay, basically allows for the stability of Venus. And when this occurs, basically Empress needs to get her power back. She dethrones herself, so it's like a grounding energy, of course. But then it's interesting because the celestial realm of La Prudence, the Hanged Man, Saturn as well as Venus, will calm and bring you medicine in the form of something toxic. So it's like two medicines cancel out, two snakes cancel out, and then you're left with this like this heavy feeling. It's like a heavy feeling that that goes against, especially for women out there, menstrual cycles. And what this allows for is primarily a way to slow down and to let the cycle sort of come a bit later, and that's fine. There is magic in this, in the actual sort of movement from the 7th house to the 12th, or 7th to the 11th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 5 or 6. Basically, this has to do with cleaning out house by letting the sun to re-equalize fluidic cycles within you, especially when it comes to the sacrifice of fluid through tears, sweat, or fluids, menstrual or seminal fluids from men. So these can be practiced in order to basically come into this Aquarian energy that the Hanged Man represents, or the woman represents here, the Sophia character represents. Now, the thing is that it's not only that it's two snakes cancel out, and then the caduceus, or the scepter of Asclepius comes in. So it's a healing type of energy. You need to go through this to allow for the angelic realm, or the Sophia line, divine feminine, through intellectual capacity, through your own learning, to break through this heaviness. Okay, so it's a heavy energy for Pisceans this month as well. Okay, so we're moving over now to the next card. it would be the first house. This is solar energy of Aries primarily. So this is the card for Aries is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, what is highly accentuated are 9 cycles of Earth rotations, but also 9 cycles of the South Node rotations. So these are 9 months that have to do with rotations of the nodal sequences. So there's something that is like a union between Mercury and the Moon for this particular card, and then its relation of the Moon to the South Node. There's like, by the new moon of this month, there's going to be some very intense, I would call them downloads and then awakenings from past life knowledges. Okay, this can do this can do with anything that has to do with your physical system, especially the first jiva, which is the sacrum. Okay, lower chakra energy, the container, as well the top, which is the sahasrara, third eye, throat chakra, the upper jiva. Okay, which is basically second jiva. It's like the another container. It's another resonant chamber. There's something about this particular month, okay, that will activate the 69's Cancer's energy through the triplicity of Earth and then trigger Rahu, Mercury, and the Moon. And basically, this allows for you to once again, it's kind of somatic. So it's somatic based on past lives. You can psychosomatically release on a quantum level by listening to your body this month. Things that are toxic are bound to be released through this this cycle. And the nine of Earth, of coins, of pentacles, basically allows for a clearing out of up to 9, okay, wounds, or 9 potential, like 9 potential lifetimes, okay, incarnations of traumatic stuff that you will intuitively feel on. And this is a gateway for this month in particular to go ahead and do that. Okay, all right, we're switching over now. We have it would be Aries. Yeah, so that's interesting. So we have here Aries. Okay, I might have made a mistake in the previous one. This is potentially Pisces. Wait, hold on one second. It's Aquarius. It would be Aquarius, Pisces. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that. There it is. Taurus. Okay, this one is for Taurus. I'm gonna have to do some editing for the previous signs, but I'll probably say one sign, but it'll mean another because I'm going through ascension of the houses. So this is Taurus for sure. Taurus basically is showing up as fortune. And the card of fortune is interesting, at least in this deck. We have primarily the Monkey King here, which is like a type of Hanuman character who brings a rod. Okay, and the rod, he's on a branch, and then the rod, it turns into a cycle of this person who's falling. Could be an Icarus character who goes through a transformation, and then it activates this rat energy, which is like, you know, the king of the Zodiac of the Chinese realm. So it's kind of an interesting Joker type of energy, this fortune card. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune indicates karma, okay? And if this is indeed a Taurus energy, which it is, there is a chance for basically a strong activation that has to do with Saturn, double Saturn. So it's like Saturn, your natal, combined with Saturn and Saturn, the transit, whatever Saturn is in now, and then it activates an augmentation according to the house placement away from it. But there is a chance for essentially an ascension energy. But then it's tricky because this circle combined with this serpentine energy here, it turns into the Ouroboros. So with this combination, the Ouroboros comes in strong. Now Ouroboros is basically a link between the North Node and the South Node, the snake that eats itself, the snake that eats its own body. And because of such, there's a strong, man, these cats are going ridiculous. There's a strong churning that is going on here that kind of releases you from gross materiality. I'll say that again. It releases you from gross materiality. For example, if the center of this device here is a potter's wheel, then the materiality eventually will float off if it goes fast enough. Yeah, if it goes fast enough. So then, as spinning goes, then this is the dervish system. As spinning goes, then essentially the center, which is the potter can shift, and then use their hands to shift. The materiality, the gross materiality, and then it releases things. This is the thing about karma and Wheel of Fortune. This is done through, of course, primarily the easiest way to do it is through practices that involve Kundalini and working with the high masters of the yogic tradition in order to release this. For example, Sri Mahavatar Babaji or Swami Vivekananda, or Sri Sri Anandaji. You know, these are basically chances for a release sequence. The Caduceus and the Monkey King Hanuman, they work together to shake off the snakes. Okay, so these are two primarily genetic codes that you can shake off this month if you are fortunate enough to ride the lunar cycle. Okay, this is when the North Node, South Node, in juxtaposition with a double Saturn energy, Saturn transit and then Saturn natal, you'll be able to basically be fortunate enough to use Saturn, which is a Hanuman energy, okay, and use astrology to shake things off on in terms of timelines of karma and to release that. Okay, we're moving over to Gemini's energy. Gemini. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Gemini, we have Two of Cups. Okay, Two of Cups is a particular energy here. Strong. But then if it mirrors here, La Prudence, yeah, then it's like love will be the answer to release any sort of toxic energies. And it's strange because it could be that it's either a super complicated situation, it would be known as a love triangle, okay, which is actually a mysterious way. People see it as very negative, love triangles and all of that. It's a learning experience in terms of that. It spins the wheel in a certain way, and it triggers the inner children to release their pretension, to release their ego, and then come into a way of spinning. I mean, look at it. If you were to have a partner, for example, exclusive, monogamous, okay, and then you were to have timelines with this partner, it would produce certain effects that would induce children. For example, the first child becomes the first corner of a love triangle, or the next side of a love triangle. Every family goes through this, according to what I've been researching, and it produces a certain effect. It is the gateway to unconditional love. That's the primary thing. The triangle eventually turns into the square, into the pentagon, into the hexagon, into the octagon, into the decahedron, etc., into the tetragrammatron. Okay, and then further into the tesseract. Okay, so these are things on a quantum level. There's an activation of spiritual love that would actually feel kind of like poison in a way. And then it goes to that process of healing again. It's in context of the Aquarian Age. Aquarian Age is all about getting rid of old romance timelines and brainwashing MK Ultra stuff, okay, and releasing that. So there's a connection in particular for my Geminis out there. Hold on, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. Okay, so these are flipped, and then Taurus. Yes, and then Gemini. Yes, Geminis. Okay, so yeah, basically the turnaround, okay, with the numbers is the 12-12, 11-22, or the 12-12. Okay, and then the angelic realm is going to be here to deliver this to you. You can't avoid it, and it's going to be a strong connection. It will allow for some sort of release. Okay, could also be having to do with a past situation or a future situation that's coming to be, because the nature of this particular reading is based on the Ouroboros, but also on Saturn, and Saturn is a lengthy delay. And also, this is 12-12, so it's like an activation of the mystical path. Divine Feminine would also have to come into play through the Isis line, and then Kronos through the Saturn line to bring you this connection. All right. Let's see here. We have Cancer coming up. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Cancer is showing up as La Prudence, Ophiuchus plus Cancer, Inquietude. This is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, when Seven of Pentacles in reverse is here, there's a freeing up of Saturn's energy, and then it produces this idea of loudness. There's a chance to break through a rut that you have maybe been going through, my dear Cancer, and this allows for primarily they're bringing forward of let's see here. It's like it's out of your hands. You have to move forward. There's a chance that there may be fear cycles in doing this, but it's a loud calling to go ahead and move forward and actually be more committed in certain situations. It also indicates in terms of career, it's Pentacles, that there is a block and then a release, and it allows for new timelines to come in. All that stagnant energy that some of you may have been feeling allows for a pushing forward through this idea of inquietude, which is like it's kind of chaotic. It's kind of like mania. I suspect Uranus on a double form from Aquarius plus this Saturn / Aquarian energy. It activates the second house away from it, which is basically a Venusian energy. Okay, and then Venus through this Hanged Man, through the Sophia mysteries, would provide essentially healing and then releasing. It's like a psychosomatic block potentially, but also blocks in terms of your timelines of manifesting something and getting further out there. Okay, so that's my dear Cancers. That's fourth. We have Leo coming up. Let's see, 4, 5. Cancer, Leo. Leo, we have the card of Melody, which is in this deck kind of the Hierophant. You can see by the top crown there, but it's also the Magician because of the raising of the wand. So it's a Hierophant, magician type of energy, second house, third house energy. Okay, so there's a mercurial activation to bring forward situations, to bring forward values. It's like this is a time to bring forward love, Leo. But at the same time, it comes riddled. The love becomes mired with some sort of chemical, okay, that's potentially too toxic for some or dangerous for others. But then the Hierophant sublimates that. So you're going to be playing not a hero role, but a Hierophant role in terms of bringing purity into certain situations. And the person that you manifest might have this hangman type of energy, okay? Which is like you are able to say above and below, to see above and below, as above so below, and transmute on an alchemical pathway through Mercury as well as through Venus, okay? That's the energy of Earth Venus plus Mercury, but it's air Mercury, okay? You'll be able to essentially set forward a flame, concoctions of love that may be riddled with something. So these are algorithms, these are like evil eye energies, and you can actually tame it from a distance and transmute it, those energies, those very energies. So it's a time for redirection. It's a time to move forward in terms of your timelines and bringing forward these situations where you can actually help heal some people, okay, which is a fantastic energy. Okay, so we're going over to Virgo now. Virgo. Virgo showing up as Homme de Campagne. Okay, now this is a masculine and a feminine energy through this hanged mistress here, Sophia, the hanged man. So it's like, this one's interesting because Virgos are going to show up and bring the highest form of regality, and they're going to be able to be in control of certain things. You're being invested with this color red, okay, and then the purple that's below it on both cards, red and purple in the clothing, and then the gold. It's like the healing that you've done in the past month. Basically, it brings you into a sense of empowerment. It raises the solar energy within you, as well as it aligns with Jupiter and potentially the sun. And it brings you a way to visibly be seen by others as someone who is empowered, who knows what they are, what they do, how to be righteous. And you're going to lead in style, in a very royal type of energy. This reading, it screams to me of basically an aura that is enshrouded around you, that is very active. And this becomes healing for a lot of people, or it triggers others. So it's kind of a leader type of energy. You have it. You can design your own systems and your own algorithmical output through your brain chemistry and your central nervous system. And it will work with the colors red, blue, purple, and gold. These are very auspicious colors to bring forward healing energy to others, and to bring this so that they don't come with pretenses that you can see straight through their nonsense. Okay, and that's Virgos. Libra. Libra, we have incidents here in reverse. There's a psychological breakthrough. It's as if Golgotha never existed. It's like breaking through the veil, piercing through the veil, growing on an intellectual capacity. This is an accentuation of desires that have been pent up in the past months that become illuminated. This is Michael stepping in and breaking you free from a way of holding yourself back. It's a psychological breakthrough, but it's also a psychosomatic breakthrough, and it has to do with the upper region of the chakra system above the heart. So it's the throat chakra, the 7 chakras of the eye, the Sahasrara, as well as the third eye, as well as there's a few other naughty points that are around there. The occipital eye in the back for some of you, which is the rear eye, rear fourth or eighth eye. And basically, there is something that happens this month that triggers the triplicity of air, and then you shift timelines by getting out of this defensive energy. There's a breakthrough in terms of something that's blocked psychosomatically in your vertebrae, and then the chest opens, and then as soon as you break through that, it allows you to shift timelines, and then you can't be traced by them anymore. That's what I see here. So that if like, for example, the evil eye has been tracking Libras, there is a chance for some sort of breakthrough that allows for primarily for a coming into power. This has to do with a specific incident. The 11th and the 12th of the month will be relevant, and this is when it happens. The best thing to do would be to align your desires with the highest forms of light, and to trust in Michael to set you free from any sort of blocks, especially if you've been threaded by others and then like sort of manipulated in terms of the mind. Their spirals are not your own. You don't have to defend from them anymore. There's a breakthrough. So their spirals in terms of a mind or a darker line, and the evil eye that tracks them, it's no longer going to track you. You won't have to feel that because you're shifting on a quantum level to other dimension. Okay, that's what I see with it for Libras. So we are moving once again. I just had to get my bearings there. I think I may have miscounted or whatever. I'll fix it in editing. We're going to Scorpio's energy now. I'm pulling a card. We have La Prudence. Scorpio. Okay, this is Home Visil, which is the King of Pentacles in the reverse. I cannot stress to Scorpios enough that it is a time for a purification of your resources this month in particular, especially because of an activation of the second house away from Scorpio. Okay, that's Sagittarius energy. it is very important to perform what the Islamic codes have deciphered as sadaqah. Now, sadaqah is the ability to hold a particular coinage, okay, percentage, and to sacrifice a small percentage of that in order to purify the money that you hold. So if you've gotten a paycheck, if you've inherited money, if you have money from the past, if you've been saving, if you're working, even if you're not working, there needs to be a way to sacrifice a bit of time, money, energy, or love in such a way that you go within, that you hold it, and then you hold the intention of giving that energy or that time in a form of service to others, okay? So if you're, for example, a psychic or an astrologer like me, then you would have to give free readings, for example. Or you take some of the money that you earn from that and then you perform some form of sacrifice. You give it to a charity or a donation at an ashram or something like that. Or you go to a thrift store that does humanitarian work also behind it, like a Salvation Army. You give some of that away, some of your clothes away. And this would provide remedy, because what I see for this month is Saturn definitely coming into a vice, and then because of that, Uranus or Loki is able to shift things, to make things chaotic for you. So if you're feeling the chaos or the spiraling of like your reality, where everything is shaking about, and like on a political level or on an economic level, there's like a shakedown going on. It's important to perform a type of sadaqah, which is a type of alms or humanitarian giving, or like giving your work or being of service somewhere. Anything you can do, including like sweeping the outside, cleaning up public areas. These are very, very relevant things to alleviate the I would call it a compression or a contraction of Saturn, okay? And it would stimulate the second house away from Scorpio, which is what needs to happen here, okay? We're moving over to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we have here the card of sincerity, which is the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Now, there is something that may be tempting you big time. You don't have a choice. You're going to have to go through with it. This is an emotional, intuitive breakthrough, okay? This is a psychosomatic breakthrough that would also happen from this. It's like a chunk of the moon becomes released. It's like a crater of the moon becomes covered and becomes ameliorated through light. And then it's like no longer there. This is a time to be authentic. It's a time to be open. There's a connection out there that's a form of medicine for you. But even then, they may have their own strange algorithm. But once you realize that they're not going to stick around, that they're going to change, that is when the true healing comes. I can't say any more about that. So that's what I see with Sagittarius this month. Lastly, we have Capricorn. Capricorn is showing up as, interesting. Capricorns have it really good this year, or in this month, but it's tricky because if you don't work with the signs of the moon, it's going to be hard to actually release some of the stuff that you absorb this month. You're in absorptive mode, and this is induced in order to heighten the amount of water inside of you. So you're retaining too much, and then that water is containing too much emotional energy. The best way to purify this is either through detoxing or the induction of electrolytic water, to charge the water so that it with salt, with high quality salt, fuller grain, and just a pinch of that with water would actually help you to get through this month. This is a time where you feel bound to something, and it's something that you want to release. The time is now to release it. The best way to do that is by fasting. Electrolytic water is also, the induction of that would be good. You need good electrical current to deal, heat or electrical current to deal with the excess of water, and also grounding. You need to ground. The thing is that when you're trying to ground, there are dangers. that are there. So you need to ground in the good ways. So like this is like feeling, not on the surface ground. You have to ground deeper beneath the core, into the earth, into the inner sun. Okay, and that will be your medicine for this month. Okay, well, that is what I see for the 12 zodiac signs. Hopefully that has helped. I apologize for a bit of the mix-up with the first two, which were the first three. So it's Aquarian, and then it goes to it's supposed to go to excuse me, to Pisces and then to Aries. So I'll just make sure that the cards were pulled accordingly, that the readings go to where they're supposed to. All right, hopefully it helps. Take care.